And we're on. What's up, guys? Welcome to... Oh, hold on. We're supposed to do the intro in Norwegian, right?
Så jeg skal si hei og velkommen til
Kisscapadespodcast.
Podcast.
Okay, do it.
Right now?
Yeah.
Together?
Yeah.
Hi.
No. I think one person.
One person.
Okay, who wants to do it?
Cynthia, you have the best voice, as you said earlier.
No, man. Okay.
You do realize we're rolling, right?
Okay.
Hi, welcome to Kiss Podcast.
I'll say it again with some enthusiasm.
Hi. Hi, og velkommen til Podcast.
Okay, I guess that's how they do it in Norway.
Should I look at the camera or not?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Another amazing episode of the Podcast. I have two lovely guests with me as we start off, 2020.
2020.
So, 2020. Not 2020?
2020.
That's American, right?
Sweet.
How do you have like an American
2020.
accent and you're from Norway?
2020.
You have to get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
People
Really?
have British accent. You choose one and you stick to it.
One.
Choose one. Choose one and roll with it, right? So anyway, another episode, another brand new year. We're dropping episodes twice a week, I think, right now. Short of 100 episodes and still dropping more. So I just want my two lovely guests to introduce themselves, their names and what they do for a living, or if they're in school or whatever they do. I mean, if you're sugar babies, say so as well.
Wow,
Yeah.
you threw that in there.
I'm just saying.
Have you met one?
I know a lot of them.
Oh,
Do they say it in public? Like,
Yeah.
sugar baby?
Yeah.
Wow.
This
I'd
is
love to
Kenya.
interview one.
Wow.
Wait, you guys do know like Kenya is like top 10 in the world for sex tourism, right?
I actually did not know that.
I didn't
You
know
didn't?
that. No,
If you Google right now, it will show you.
that's
Yeah.
disturbing.
It's not. I mean, if it's,
So who's number one?
In
of
Taiwan,
course, Thailand, Brazil, Spain, all those countries are crazy
South
with that.
America. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, just introduce yourselves, your names, and what you do and where you stay, because we're
Okay.
getting deep into that.
All right. Hi, my name is Cynthia.
That's it.
I'm a student. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a student. I study comparative politics.
Mm.
What I do right now, I'm not working. I quit my job actually.
Okay.
So now I'm actually moving from Norway
To
to London.
the most expensive city in the world.
Norway is expensive.
Norway is
Expensive.
It's expensive than London.
I mean, in
Yes.
terms of renting,
Are you serious?
No.
London is number one.
Yeah.
But everything else, food, like
Eating out must be crazy, right?
transport,
It's
eating
a
out
big-
is cheap in London.
In London, yeah.
Yeah.
Than Norway.
than
Yes.
Norway.
Okay, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
I wasn't
And what you
done,
do.
but okay.
Oh, were you
No,
done?
it's fine.
No.
What? You're not done? Okay. She was done. Come on. We're going back to you guys.
I was
So,
Anyways, my name is Sheila, and I live and work in Norway. Right now, I'm doing a lot of freelance work,
yeah.
and I have a background in filmmaking, especially script writing, screenwriting. That's what I enjoy the most. And right now, I am currently developing with 3 other women, like a platform, and that will be like a multimedia platform. And so soon I'll be having a podcast coming out.
Hey. Hey, if you need the best tips, you can always
I'm
get
gonna
them.
ask you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you, definitely.
You can always ask from somebody in a third world country so that they can show you how it's done.
I actually hate. I hate that term. I really
What?
hate that term.
But we are,
The
right?
third world country thing, I hate that term. I'm like,
But
yeah,
it's there
we
for a
don't
reason.
use it. We say developing. country.
even
Is it developing?
even
I mean, it is, and it's not.
Kind of, right?
But it is.
just in general, just
In
let's remove
general.
the whole developing, and and third world and.
What would you use?
Yeah, what
it's
would
just
you...
another country that has a different history.
Hey, okay, listen. Let's get into this. Let's get into the podcast. So I know both of you clearly, like we met in Mombasa during some festivities. We've had some good and bad times and memorable times as well, right? So
Why are you looking at me?
she's looking at you and I was like, yeah, clearly. So let's just see like what we can. There's so many things to talk about, but you guys have been away from the country like for the longest time, because I can see that you're really fluent in, what's the language?
Norwegian?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're quite fluent. So you've both been away for how long?
I think I've been there since I was 12 years old.
12.
I'm 23 now.
Okay, you didn't have to say your age, but hey, guys, just notice she's a bit,
What?
She's a what?
no, very intelligent. It's because it comes with experience, right? So
Travel is the best teacher. So
how about you? How long ago have you been away from, just Kenya?
I think the main difference I would say between me and Cynthia is like Cynthia travels back home more often than I did.
Yeah.
And this is my third time back in the continent since I moved to Norway when I was 10.
When you're 7?
10.
10. And you're actually not Kenyan, right? You're
I'm Tanzanian.
Yeah. See, the good manners explains a lot.
Yeah, she was super polite.
I know, right?
She's super polite.
Tafadhali, naomba.
Naomba chai.
Naomba, leta chai. It's leta chai.
I cannot.
It's so polite.
I have to.
So
But it's nice.
what are some of like the main differences that you guys have noticed, like just cultural differences? Because I'm sure it's hard to like bounce back and forth from like when you're in this culture and like how even Tanzania is, how Kenya is, and how Norway is. Cultural differences. How is it like? Is it easy to adapt on one side? Is it like hard one?
I remember like when I would come like years back home,
Yeah.
people would be very like, you're not Kenyan.
Yeah.
They would tell you you're not Kenyan, you act. Now come Zungu.
You act bougie.
You're acting bougie.
Yeah.
And then you go back there and you're a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
And
you also
then
still treated differently.
So it's like you don't really have
A home.
an identity in some way. Like you still have to like figure out where you belong. But for me, I think now I just don't care about that. But culturally,
there's so many things.
there's so many things.
Yeah, right?
There's a lot of things that people do differently.
What about you, Sheila? Do you have an identity crisis like our friend over here?
I think everyone that I know, like, because where we live, we're minorities, obviously, so we get along with minorities and
a certain type of minorities.
Yes, a certain type of minorities.
Like which ones? What do you mean?
The black ones.
Not just the black ones,
really?
even the Eastern European minorities. Yes, because like they also get discriminated against.
Really?
Yes,
But the Indians don't like.
Don't like what?
No,
you can. In this podcast, you can say anything because people are learning from it, right?
Yeah, they are learning.
And you're not offending everyone directly.
I'm not.
Come on.
Everyone.
Yeah.
No,
There's
but
some people.
Yeah, but like what I would say is when it comes to identity, like I think it's frustrating because part of being in Norway is like there's an expectation placed on you as a person of color that you have to adapt and kind of like suppress your Africanness or whatever you're from. Like you have to suppress it, especially if it's different from the rest, and so you do that like subconsciously without being aware.
Like what things?
Like it just the way you talk. If you're a loudspeaker, you're gonna lower your voice real quick.
Really?
If you
and also we are used to being the only black people in
everywhere.
Really?
A lot like in my class, for
Yeah.
instance, in my lectures we're like maybe 3 black people. Everyone else is white. So of course, as human beings, you're going to feel like, you're going to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing.
And also, so that's one thing that's frustrating. Is like when you are the only black person in a space, you're kind of the representative of the whole black race.
Yeah.
And you have to like.
So if you're loud, everybody from your country is loud.
And everything, or if last night some black person stole, the next day you must be a thief too, you know. But like what I find kind of frustrating when I'm coming back to visit family like in Tanzania, it frustrates me that immediately I'm labeled, oh, when mzungu, or you're this, you're that, you're an outsider just because you've lived somewhere else, and they mean it as an endearing term. But I think we need to broaden like the outlook on being African. Like it shouldn't necessarily mean that you have grown here, you eat ugali a certain way and everything. It shouldn't have to mean that. It should be broader.
So are you looked down upon, or do they praise you?
It's
because I mean, like in Kenya, summer ban is like people like, you know, welcome them, spend all their money, and then like, you know,
they treat you differently.
But at the same time,
they look at you as weak.
Really?
I mean, weak.
A little bit. Like I was walking.
I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
Especially when you're trying to get something for cheap.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you a wide price.
Like you're trying to bargain.
Yeah.
Come on, here you bargain for everything.
Yeah, but,
everything.
You know, but
I do it. I used to feel bad until like, you know, I got to an age where like, I need to balance my expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like even working as a freelance, like clients bargain. Like you give somebody a price, they not feel ashamed. They're like, make sure this is what I have. Can we work with this? And then you have to like, you know, just lower your price and work with it. So I'm going there, even if it's Mama Mboga, hey, we have to strike a deal.
Yeah.
Like how much, I mean, am I getting all these tomatoes for this much? Give me a good price, I take all of this. So for me, it's just in me. I really don't care.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel bad if you're bargaining.
It's not about feeling bad because I do bargain.
Yeah, you want that white
like,
price?
I don't want that. No. That's the price I get automatically.
But if you don't talk with that funny accent, I mean, come on.
What funny accent?
You know what I'm talking about. Just switch back to Kenyan if you're trying to go get a nice bargain.
And
nobody's gonna disturb you.
Yeah, she does.
I do.
And it also makes sure that people can take advantage of you because they're like, okay, now she's Kenyan, so she's. Yeah. But if they see like her Swahili, oh, you're done. You're done. Naomba. They're like, oh my God. She's praying for what? What? So what are some of the other things that, you know, you can say like strikingly they're quite different? Like if you're coming from just coming back and forth, it's just like a hard adjustment.
The hard adjustment.
Yeah. I know like Tanzania, first of all, Tanzania, like you said, you're supposed to have like 2 babies by now and a husband, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is I got that question mostly from kids, not from adults. So kids are like, this one looks like she's ready. Yes, and then when they were calling me auntie and mama, and I was like, mama. Or shikamo, you know, like I was hearing all of that, and I was like, oh, because like in Norway, I'm still a kid. Yeah. You know, like you're still a kid.
In Norway, they don't refer to each other like that.
There's that humility.
Can we get your lips slightly closer to the? Oh, you're saying like in Norway?
They don't have those terms to refer to one another. Like you call the teacher by the first name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're struggling.
It's like you.
Oh, they do call their teachers in their
first name. You call them by their first name.
Like your homie, like Sam, Dorothy.
As in, if your name says Johnny, as in Johnny, there's no like teacher Johnny. Or it's Mr.
They disrespect.
So like, of course, when you come here, it's like, oh, you forget that, you know.
Oh, that you're actually supposed to address people
differently and greet people in the morning. And
that's not there.
You know, you don't do that. So.
And I kind of miss that. That's why, for me at least, being polite is very important.
Yeah.
And I stayed in France for a short while, and if you're not polite there, no one will help you.
Really?
Like no one will help you. Like there's a whole way there's a third verb like you need to
use for
people you don't know for being polite. You know, like the vous. Like that's the whole thing. Vous is like it's a well, now it's a while since I've spoken French, but vous is when you refer to someone like in a respectful manner, someone you don't.
Like excuse
No,
me, sir,
well,
excuse
yeah,
me, miss.
yes,
But it's
yeah.
general for both sexes, kind of.
Yes, that one's general for both sexes. But then there's the other ones for like people you know.
Oh, Kenyans would have a hard time with that, eh? Would have a hard time with that.
But there's still like levels of respect in terms of like your elders, and if there's an old person standing, you'll stand in your bus, you'll stand up and give them a seat. Or I don't know if you guys do that, but in Norway we certainly
I'm not
don't.
doing that for anyone.
Oh,
Pregnant woman.
a pregnant woman.
I'm
It's
not doing that for anyone. No.
Why?
I didn't get her pregnant.
But what if it's like an elderly person?
Like who?
Any
They should be resting at home.
Wow.
Don't put me in a
Karma
compromising.
exists, John.
Hey,
Be
listen.
careful.
That is
We'll just have to
Karma is
wait.
real.
We'll just have to wait and see. I know well I'm supposed to be when I'm an old person. Just don't put yourself in that. Because some people now start taking advantage, though.
Of what?
People.
They'll put a pillow just so they in their
Like an
stomach
old
so that they
people?
can sit.
I've seen that
That's-
on YouTube as well. So, I mean, it does
there's other
exist.
things.
Okay, and then now we'll come back to, just you living in Norway.
Yeah.
But let's just start with New Year's resolutions, man. What are your resolutions?
None.
What are you leaving behind in 2019, and what achievements are you trying to get in 2020?
Honestly, I don't have any New Year's resolution.
Wow,
I know, right?
really?
It's really like, sounds like I'm not doing anything with my life. But
Can't
no,
hear
I
you.
don't. Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah.
No, you're kind of
There.
whispering, but it's all good.
No, she was far away.
Oh,
She's-
sorry,
yeah,
I'm
uh-huh.
moving a lot. No, but I don't have any New Year's resolution.
At all.
No.
Is there
Or maybe
anything
I do, I'm
you
just keeping them
regret?
to myself.
Is there anything you regret from 2019 that you've maybe learned a lesson and you're like, okay, I wouldn't repeat this mistake again this year?
I would say we were talking about this on our way here. Keeping things private. I would say that's something that I would definitely.
Like what? Social media?
No,
or-
just
yeah.
everything that I want, or I want to accomplish, or just how I'm living. I would.
Or not
like-
to jinx them, or people start just praying for your downfall before
Yeah,
you
or
even
people
achieve
sometimes-
something.
Or people just give you advice and you didn't ask for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like just that. I would think like that. That is the one thing that I should have not done. But I did it, and now I know. So hey,
Learn from your
at
mistakes.
least I did it now.
What about
Yeah.
you, Sheila?
Well, I used to in the past. I'll be like, this year's the year. Okay, I'm gonna go.
New year, new me.
I'm gonna like you see the fireworks and you're like,
Yeah.
my to-do list is ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but now I'm keeping it simple. Just do what I say I'm gonna do. Simple. And it's not a resolution. It's been happening like since the end of last year. If I just did what I say I'm gonna do, I'll come I'll be further along.
Yeah.
Like not procrastinating.
No, yeah, exactly.
It's a
And
disease.
and I have no regrets for 2019. I think it went really well.
Mm.
I was in Tanzania and in Kenya. That's like a beautiful way to end a year.
Yeah.
And so no regrets. And that's something I'm learning because I can be very self-critical. And
You think?
you think you've noticed
Ugh.
that I'm very self-critical.
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah. We'll get to that. I'll tell
Yeah.
you.
Well, yeah. And so letting it go, like letting things go and just saying what I'm going to say. And that's not something that I decided on the dot of midnight, because if you do that, you're not going to accomplish those goals. Then you're not serious.
True. So what would you like to do maybe like, in future, like for a living?
For a living.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah.
Because I mean, I know you have like now 3 different places. How many, do you move around in so many different countries, or have you decided where you'd want to be? Like if you're working, because I'm guessing like if you are in Europe for studies and maybe the education system is better, where do you see yourself like just settling down for a job where you get to enjoy your money
Oh, that's a good one.
without crazy taxes and everything?
That's
Where would
a-
you ideally like
That's
to?
a good one. For right now, I am in the sweating stage where you have to sweat and work hard, and you don't have time to think about how am I going to enjoy my money. Maybe it's more about how are you gonna like meditate in the bush because it's free, you know. Because in Norway we hike and it's all about nature, and that's because it's the free activity. So
Really?
yes. So
It's popular though.
it's very popular. Even the weather doesn't
come on.
stop you.
Yeah, if it's cheap, it has to be popular.
So yeah, that's not my priority right now, and I've deliberately decided to stay in Bergen for a while because it's a small city, and I feel like in the smaller cities you have a bigger opportunity of developing yourself
Yeah.
before you move along to the next place. Because like places like London is high competition.
I think so.
Yeah.
Very high
It's
competition.
very.
I'm just surprised that you guys find London to be cheaper than.
We said
No.
No, the rent,
The rent,
The rent
living
and maybe-
expenses.
travel expensive.
Living expenses are
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yes. Otherwise, living, going out, buying clothes, you know.
Getting from a place to another,
And-
it's not that.
And if you live like outside of London, like let's say Colchester, you
Yeah.
can get a nice apartment, 1 bedroom with its own bathroom. The only thing you have to pay for is the train, which is annoying.
But
But
how
then-
much? How much are we talking about if we're talking about that apartment?
That's affordable. You can get an apartment in Colchester for 300 to 500 pounds, like for one person, and it's a good standard.
Really nice,
London,
right?
that's a bedroom, okay, and you're sharing the toilet with 5 other
the
people.
kitchen.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hear New York is almost like somewhere
Yeah.
there, top 5 or top 10. The same kind of like situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about you? What would you like to do? Like maybe,
In the future,
yeah,
I'm still figuring that out.
get a rich boyfriend then.
If I want a rich boyfriend,
Yeah,
I don't
That's
mind.
easy.
you don't mind?
It's not hard.
That's
Easy?
easy. That's easy, but it's about personality.
It's not hard.
It's about
But
personality.
would you guys be down for that?
A rich boyfriend.
And
Yeah,
if
I
you're
would just
happy with
take
your
care
life,
of you and
If
you
you're
know.
an asshole, no.
Yeah. Come
But what
on,
do
you
you
won't
mean,
be
like-
out. You won't be out looking for an asshole. Cause I know, like, I have friends who are like, I don't want to work. I just would want somebody to take care of me. No?
No,
No.
that's boring.
Is it?
It's
Yes.
boring to just sit around and do nothing.
Shopping and
I do that on my own.
Yeah,
Hey.
basically. It's
See,
fucking
guys, we
boring.
do have like black independent women who do all these things for themselves. Kenyan sisters, that's a message to you, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
But there are
do
lots
that.
of
That's not
yeah.
empowering.
That's not empowering.
If women want to do that, they should do that. And,
Yeah.
and
We're not
and,
saying
yeah.
it's bad to sit around and have somebody take care of you. If that's
Yeah.
housewives do that all the time.
Yeah.
Being a housewife is also a job. Like
It's not a sin, right?
it's
No.
a job as well. So I don't think it's bad. If that's what you like, hey, do it.
So when you're in Norway, what are like your dating situations though? Because we're just jumping into these things. Yeah, we're bouncing back and look at the frustrations in your faces. You're just like, oh
frustrated
Lord,
already.
oh Lord. Because we're just tapping into all these things. When we mention something, just know it's a leading question to something else. Don't
Okay.
just fall for it. Like
Wow.
I'm
the
gonna skip
dating
something.
situation
That
in
was smooth.
Norway.
Yeah.
It was,
That was
slick.
smooth.
Hey.
It was slick.
It's like, it's very.
Hey, I do this. I do this. So how is it like? Like, do you guys enjoy dating there, or
I mean,
do you date white boys? It's quite a thing, like in Kenya as well.
I don't date white boys.
You don't?
I don't. And I'm very clear about that when I meet white men.
Why?
Because I just feel like there's nothing that we can sit and talk about.
Really?
And I'm not attracted to that.
Is that
I want black
Sheila? Is
babies.
that the only reason?
Yeah. I mean,
Really?
And I want black babies.
Really?
Yeah. I want to have a black
Like there's
family.
a trend.
I
Like
want
there's
black
actually
love.
What's a
there's
trend?
actually a trend now. Like people just want mixed babies.
not
That's
a
what girls are doing.
That's fucked
So they
up.
get
But
like
that's-
kind of
that's
expats,
psychologically-
That's
tourists.
fucked up.
Psychologically, historically, a black person saying that.
That's a trend. I swear. I
And
mean, I'm
the
not
fact
lying.
that it's a trend is disturbing too,
Okay,
because
see-
what happens when your
yeah.
child ceases to be a trend?
Listen, you first of all,
That is fucked up.
listen. First of all, she comes from Tanzania. What description would you give to all successful men in Tanzania? What kind of girlfriend do they go for?
Well, I mean, not just Tanzania. I'll just say, like in general, globally.
No.
No, it's
Just
this-
describe.
it's
Let's
this-
start with Tanzania and Kenya.
I mean, like curvy, fair,
Really?
What is
fair,
fair?
Not
fair-
light skin?
fair skinned.
As
Or
in
fair
brown?
skin?
Fair skinned, like woman, yeah. If your skin's fair.
Come on, let's go with your popular artist, Diamond.
Yeah. Isn't she like mixed?
Ooh.
I see what you mean. I've actually seen a lot
Like
of
the symbol of
celebrities.
success is getting like
A
A
fair,
light-skinned
yes, and that's what I
woman.
said,
Yeah,
and that's what
Ah.
so many men aspire to get. And,
Yeah.
and that's their choice.
That's their choice.
That's their choice. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Again, the same as you mentioned earlier, like women who'd prefer to be taken care of and be
Yeah.
home. That's their choice. So
So do you think it's
not
okay
mine
for young
personally.
boys to see like that's like a signature of success? Like you get money, you leave like, you know, the black girls that you used to date and get a light skinned girl too.
I have a comment on that.
Look at that. I have like yeah, it's
But would you
popular.
do you want to go first?
like
You
what's
can go
what's trendy? What's trendy on TV and what kids are gravitating towards? It's like what's mainstream, media, music, acting, and all those things. So if they see like the headlining artists in the country, that means
The V's.
yeah. So if they all the popular artists, like if they get like a girl, it's a light skinned one or mixed race one, Italian, you know, like all the big honchos there in TZ. And even Kenya is like a big thing. So I mean, so young boys aspire to get to that position and
yeah.
get that kind of woman.
I cannot speak on behalf of young boys and men and all of these because I am not one, and
And how does that make you feel as a Tanzanian woman? First of all,
it doesn't make me feel anyway. Maybe before
Really?
before when I was younger, it was like disturbing, and also because like in Norway,
yeah,
maybe not in Norway, I'll just say in the circles I've been in, because I haven't been everywhere in Norway. In the circles I've been in, it's like you hear these comments like, you know, people saying that black women are dramatic, they're loud
crazy.
and they're crazy and they're all of these things. And if you hear it all the time, sometimes you start believing it, and you take it in. But now, as I've
actually, I'll let you read this once she's done. Sorry.
yeah, and now as I've you know been different places and
Yeah.
so on, I cannot take it personally. It's not something I can control what other people do. But then I do make it a point that if I'm ever going to work on something, it will be to empower people who are, you know, like black, dark skinned, or you know, who can relate to that.
And I'll tell you what I've realized. I've noticed and realized like a lot of black women who've just gone and lived like in Europe, they do have that different mindset. Is it because when you're there, you're treated as a second-class citizen?
Yeah.
And you actually tend to realize how important it is to actually like just even have your own identity and love yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember when we were coming here, we're like, it's so nice seeing black people on billboards.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's so nice. Here you're normal. You don't have to
Yeah.
Prove
adjust to
yourself.
anything or prove anything. So I think definitely that is, you know, it's one of the main things.
So no mixed race babies for you.
No mixed race baby.
Okay, we're going
I
back
would-
to that.
I would
Uh-huh.
say that.
You would say what?
I don't have that opinion. I don't
Oh,
share
you-
that opinion. Like
Mixed babies.
with
You want?
no, because like this is the thing. This is it's not.
Okay,
No, I'm
I'll
not.
give you this to read. Wait till she finishes.
I'm not gonna purposely go out and search and say I want this guy. No, it's someone who I'm compatible with, who thinks the way I
Really?
think, or and can understand me, and I understand them, and there's a level of respect.
That's
And he's
all you're
black.
looking
That's
for in
it.
a guy. And he's black.
And that's it. And, that,
She
and
said,
that's,
and he's black.
He's black.
and that's it. But it just so happens that like the circles I move in is predominantly black, but then I'm not opposed to meeting people outside of that circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you dated white men?
Why are you saying
Look
this?
at that smile. Yeah.
Why are you saying this? Why are you saying this?
Have you?
I have not dated white men.
You haven't?
Okay, I have.
And
There's a reason why I'm saying.
why?
I mean, but the thing is, I have met.
Are we talking about just
no,
like
it's
behavior?
nothing sexual or any. It's
Are you
also,
sure it's nothing sexual?
No, because
Really?
I have dated.
I've had
White
they're really
men be
good in.
packing.
Yeah, I've had they're really good in bed.
but I'm just saying, like,
What are you
I've
talking
met-
about with virgins?
Yeah, I've met like men,
First,
white
and
men.
what did you mean by parking? I don't even understand, first of all. For
let-
my
let
language,
let me finish.
I need to understand what you're
Let me
saying.
finish.
They're good when you're traveling, they park bags neatly
Yeah,
and properly.
they're really good at packing bags.
Oh.
Organized.
They
Wow.
fold their
They're
clothes.
folding their clothes.
I'm jealous
their
because I
towels.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I just never seem to know how to do it right. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
go
but
back.
I've dated like white men who, like, we really got along
Yeah.
really well. Like, relationship wise, it wasn't like, it was okay. But there's also something about being with someone who you can relate to, in terms of where you're from. And also, I don't want to explain, because I always have to explain my hair, why I have braids and tomorrow I have short hair.
Yeah.
And then the next day I have long hair again.
Like, what's going on?
It's like, what's
Someone
going
is
on?
shape shifting.
And also just not that. I just think like in this time, I just want to be like. I think there's a lot of great black men, and I just want to be with a black man. And you can
She sounds like she's been traumatized from something.
and you can.
But
and you
also,
can
most
be.
of them date for fetish reasons. I
Yes,
know, because
that
they
is
can't.
true.
They can't. Like, that's
That is
like
true.
a majority of them. And at times, it's hard to explain. Also, like to
And
like the local girls, because they do not see or understand what that is.
But white,
so I
Yeah,
don't
black
and
men do
also
the same
that-
thing. Just
Ooh.
to point that out.
really.
But I'm just saying, having that,
Yeah.
and then being in a place like Norway, and then you have guys stopping you, asking if you're a prostitute.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they
how much?
associate,
Oh.
they associate you
They
being
do
black
that.
with the prostitute. It's like my perception
Yeah.
of white men is just like I'm always like second guessing what your intentions are.
Yeah.
Fetish number
Fetish
one. Number
number
two,
one
they
is
always,
fucked up.
like you said,
Yeah.
automatically they assume if you're
Yeah.
there, that's what.
But we're only discussing white men. There is
Yeah.
men of other races too, though.
That would walk up to you and ask you how much.
No. Like
Yeah,
Has
that's
somebody
actually true.
has somebody ever asked you how much?
Yes, at work when
Oh,
I
what?
used to work
Yeah,
at,
somebody has asked me.
Yeah.
at 7-Eleven, and this guy
How-
was like,
How much did you charge them?
he was like, I'll give you 500 krona if you suck my dick.
What?
And I was 18 at the time, and this was disturbing. It was very disturbing because it was an older man. He was maybe around his 50, or
Always
even
older men.
or even when I was working like at a grocery store in the daytime, and this guy, and he had apparently asked everyone at my work, all the other women's, but this is the first time. The way he asked me was disturbing. He was like, "You're not wearing a hijab, so you must not be a virgin."
They're really, for people who claim they're educated, some of them are really just.
Ma-
Yeah,
I posted
but-
yesterday something on my Instagram. Just going to school doesn't mean that you educate. Intelligence and education are two completely different things. Yeah, so just because you went through a certain school system. Because we see what they come and do in our coastal province with
Mombasa.
girls who are as young as 13, 14, 15, 16. That's what they come here for, because, nobody's going to stop you.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it took me back to that R. Kelly thing and everything, because
Did you look up on that?
I know. I mean, I was just playing, but I was just saying, like, that thing, that's the same thing that happens, like, in our country. Go to, like, Northeastern, there are arranged marriages to some really young girls, and coastal province is notorious. People send their kids to the beach to meet tourists to come back with money at home. So it's pretty standard here where we stay, and we haven't even thought of how we can, like, even in Tanzania, I know some different cultures that maybe in the past, I don't know if they still do it, but girls at 16, you can get an arranged marriage and see. So it's not something that,
Yeah. Like
but what's happening right now is, like, people, and especially a lot of black people, are being trained to crucify, like, even like black men. And even our women now, they're just out, they're being taught how to punish black men with, like, the simplest sign of, without even, like, looking to a reason to why is this person doing this. Hugh Hefner has been doing this for how long? Do you know how the youngest playmate who was topless in Playboy was?
probably 16.
13 or 12. Do your research, and she was on the cover and she was topless. And it was a girl. But nobody has ever talked when he died. I'm not saying he did anything wrong, but he has never, nobody, and he was practically running an escort service as well. Yeah. So I mean,
But I would
how comes
say-
there is no? How is it just like all my childhood heroes, people I was listening to their music, Michael Jackson? Are you just telling me all the black men that I used to look up to either were not paying taxes, rapists? This one was doing this. Oh, so who am I supposed to say that?
I'm actually glad you're bringing up this topic
Yep.
because that is one view. But let's be clear, like the Me Too movement has not reached Africa.
It hasn't?
It has not.
She gets serious when she says that. It has not reached Africa.
It has not reached
People are
Africa
vocal
because every
online.
black woman has a Me Too story.
Really?
And
Okay, let's
sometimes
talk.
the
Not even one.
Not even and more than one.
More
And
than-
often the perpetrator is the black man.
Ah,
Yeah.
come on, guys. We
but
can't
then
keep...
but then
The
we
way-
love
the
you
way
so
men
much
here
we're
catcall
protecting you.
women.
Okay, then we also
There you
need to
go.
talk. Well, we
Man.
also need to talk about that.
Oh my god.
Like we can go like yes, colonial, like when you know, like with the slave trade and colonialism and all of this systemically, like yes, we've been taken advantage of by white people and it
Yeah.
happens. And I like you mentioned with the tourism, sex tourism,
Yeah.
and all of that, and I acknowledge that. But we black women do not speak up when it comes to black men because we know already like they're demonized and all of this, and we try
They're
to support.
guilty.
They're already crucified.
They're already crucified, so we kind of
Yeah.
keep it in, and like yeah, that's my view on it. It's that the Me Too movement has yet to reach Africa. Like something in South Africa, I was with
Well, that was my dress, my choice.
yes.
That was something. But
Where?
here in Kenya, wasn't it?
Yeah,
My
yeah,
dress,
yeah.
my choice.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it lasted.
But I
Or it's
think
still- it's
Kenyans
still there. It's
people
not-
dress the way they want. I mean, are you not? Okay, the catcalling is gonna be there because, like we say, just because somebody has gone to school, it doesn't mean. And like in Nairobi, in fact, you think Nairobi is crazy. You live in Nairobi, and see people who do not really understand where, like they do not know where the lines are not supposed to be crossed. So.
Yeah.
They believe they're entitled, but I think it's just now that takes us to a developing third world
That
country.
doesn't make it okay. Like
No, we are like seriously. That's where like I'm saying like a developing, but we have to say third world country because all these things come with time. It can't
what
change
does
once.
third world mean?
Third
What's
world.
the definition of that?
We have so much shit that we need to repair and construct. That
What is the
that
definition?
that some of the things like you see the way you're talking about like Me Too movement, the LGBT, all those things, as much as they exist, they wouldn't be prioritized because like we have leaders squandering funds. We're just trying to get like a decent train to get from one place to Mombasa. And when you're in Europe, is that even like an issue?
No, but my issue with the whole first world, second world, who's the second world? I haven't looked into that.
Yes.
And third world kind of implies that there's a race that all of us, our aim is to become first world. And like there's positive things in Europe, like the welfare systems in certain areas and all of these things, but I don't think that we should all aspire to set up our societies in that way, because one of the beautiful things in Africa is how, with the thing with community and family, and yes, there's drama on that when it comes to family and in all families.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's this togetherness. Like we met 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You get my point?
It's not that easy.
And
make
I feel like I know
Really?
you. And it's really difficult to
It
get
is
friends.
hard to
It
make
is
friends
difficult.
here.
No, I mean in Norway.
Oh, in Norway, you
Yeah.
In
can't.
Norway.
You
And
can't.
like the greatest poverty is not being able to connect with other people, I think. That is another form of poverty. And that's why so many whites travel to third world
Yeah,
countries in
yeah.
order to experience humanity, that kind of
Oh yeah, true.
know.
That's actually true.
so yeah, I'm getting riled up.
Yeah, I can see. No, but you see, remember when you're telling me to prep you, but it's because when we're talking about such things, yes, when we're just friends having a drink here and there, but we can have this conversation
Yeah.
without offending each other, but just talk about it like this is what you're thinking. This is how you approach something like this. These are your thoughts. I have my own thoughts. Because I know, like, even when I'm saying, like, okay, a lot of black men being crucified, because it's just like, it's really now gotten to a point where I think it's guilty till proven innocent. And at times, there are people who are guilty, but like you've said, there are some people, like, immediately, everybody will just be like, yo, come on, guilty. yet you haven't seen like, okay, this person maybe was completely raised completely differently. This is the only thing he believes, that maybe from their religion or culture, once you get to a certain age, like, a girl is not supposed to say no to you. Or if she's brought to your house after a certain age, like I have all those screenshots and conversations that I keep having with people on the podcast. But people really also need to understand that's why it's also important to educate our people. Because otherwise you'll just keep giving people life sentences, but the next ones are still coming.
Yeah.
So keep educating them. That's the only way it's going to change.
Yes, but it's very difficult.
Look at Cynthia. Cynthia, what are your thoughts on Me Too movement?
Me Too movement.
And then we'll go to consent. We have to talk about consent.
The Me Too movement.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are my thoughts on the Me Too movement?
How am I supposed to just...
You know my thoughts on the Me Too movement.
What are your
from
thoughts?
This conversation.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's a needed movement.
In Kenya?
In Kenya, I think it's definitely
Because you guys
needed.
said like it hasn't reached here, but what exactly did you mean by that? Apart from things like catcalling,
Because
what
people
else?
here are
How
not
can-
being
how
held
can-
accountable.
how can... If somebody's supposed to be jailed for catcalling,
Not cat. Okay.
That's
Even
like-
that's
how
not
how
okay.
can how can a Kenyan man show appreciation? Like they see you passing on the road and are they supposed to
They cannot-
compliment?
You don't have to.
Can they?
Sometimes.
Can they compliment though?
No, I find that the staring, I find it disturbing too, because that's what they do.
They stare.
Okay, so they
And they
shouldn't.
don't hide it. They
So
don't
they
blink.
shouldn't look and they shouldn't compliment.
No.
I mean, there's a way to compliment a woman.
Please, by all means, trust me. There are people who need to learn from this. How can a Kenyan person like compliment you without offending you?
I mean, sometimes a hi, it's nice, and then just move on.
A hi.
And sometimes you don't have to compliment.
It could just be, hey, you look beautiful.
Yeah, you look beautiful. You don't have
Full
to
stop.
compliment sometimes either.
That's not sexual harassment.
Hey, you look beautiful.
With that dead stare, like, hey you look
Okay.
beautiful.
And then move on.
And then
Don't
move
stop.
on.
And then walk away.
Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to see
Actually,
her. How I
those-
don't get the number. I never get to
you
see
don't
her.
have to.
If you have to vibe it out, like, does she give you like a, oh, okay, you know, does she? It
What
has to
about the
come
shy
both
one? You see, that's why like, do we need a dictionary? Because now I have like 5 seconds to read like body language, your eyes and everything before I move on.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
how do I know I'm supposed to get the number?
maybe like
Look,
what you
even
just
she doesn't have
what
the
you-
answer. She's just
No,
like,
I-
No, because it's hard. Because sometimes you have some days, you know. It depends on the days. Because some days, like,
So you let me know of the day I can compliment you and follow up for the number in advance before I meet you, or how is this supposed to work?
for me, most of the time, I prefer not to even be stopped.
What?
Just
So how is someone supposed to date you? Guys, you see,
I approach you. Like, what do you mean?
you just stayed with white
I
women for
approach
too
you.
long. You stayed with white women for too
like,
long.
No, that's not it. I think like the best thing, because we've been approached before, like in London,
Yeah,
and we've created friendships from that. Not
Yeah.
that you've necessarily dated, but you've gotten to know the person.
yeah.
And I would say maybe the best thing is like if someone, first of all, people need to stop being so thirsty. There's a lot of women. If I'm passing by, though you meet more people. If we meet more than twice, then I'm more likely to open up to you and be like wanting to be curious about you. You get
Yeah.
my point? So that it's not nice to be chasing women and everything being one-sided either.
Okay.
It has to be mutual. And so if I'm walking down the street and I'm always walking down the same street and you're also always walking down the same, one day you say hi, you're beautiful, stop, you know, and then you move on. That would intrigue me much more than, hey, you look beautiful, where you going? Let me carry your bags.
Let me get
Da,
your
da, da, da.
number.
Let
Let
me
me get your number, man.
You
Let me
freak
get
me
your
out.
number. Let me get that number. Let me get that number. But I think it's just completely different, even from there. And I think from you guys just staying there for quite some time, it makes you forget like how guys operate here. And that's why definitely, because you might find like that's completely 80-70% normal in so many places here. Like I've also said, Kenya being top 10 sex tourism destination. I mean, there are some places if you go, you're definitely not supposed to say hi. You're supposed to say how much. See,
Yeah.
it's that's in Mombasa. There's some places, because otherwise you're wasting your time.
Like lollipop.
Nah, listen. At Lollipop, I told you, you just tip one. You can tip 100. I mean,
But you
that's
said
it.
there are people standing outside as well.
Yeah, no, outside for sure. Outside, you just ask how much, because you're wasting your time. And other places, other clubs in Mombasa as well. If you go, you'll be wasting your time having a conversation and buying drinks, because you'll stay, and then by the time it gets to like 3 or 4 in the morning, the lady will be like, okay, so how much do you have? So you see, you are wasting this whole time. So you just need to know your environment and how you're supposed to behave. And trust me, it's not like prostitutes in Kenya are only the ones that stand by the road. It's normal, completely normal girls. So you'll be hanging out like, yeah, you're having a good time, you're thinking, and then she'll be like, how much? Like, how much for what? For the bill? She's like, no, how much do you have? Stop wasting my time. I need to know whether you're a client or no. So if that happens to you 3 or 4 times, what happens the next time you go and meet someone who's not an escort? What are you going to do? You'll ask them how much? How much for what? How much
I'll
to take you
smack
home?
you. Like, I don't have that patience
You see,
anymore.
that's the thing.
I don't.
Trust me. Like, even
Not
if
that
I was
I'm
to
violent.
prove it, it's just like we're not in Mombasa anymore. Otherwise, I'd have given you like a test run to just see, like, you know, how that thing works. Not that I pick up prostitutes. I'm just saying that I do not.
I didn't say
I
you
do not
did.
have sexual relations with escorts, but I promote every woman who wants to do that. Kudos to you. Their choice, right?
Their choice.
Yeah.
No, but I would say if once women, particularly on this continent, start being financially independent, like if every woman is financially dependent, then we can really talk about choice.
There are no
And then-
jobs
and
though,
then-
right?
And also about choice, then we can. Then I think the Me Too movement would like truly, you know,
Yeah.
setting into gear, because like if you're a secretary to a really powerful man who's like, you know, smacking your butt whenever you pass by or something like this,
Yeah.
you're most likely not going to say anything because you don't want to lose your job. Chimamanda Ngozi came out and said that when she was 17,
Yeah.
she went to an office and this guy put his hand in her breast. Yeah, and that was a traumatic experience for her. But then how do you come out and say this highly respectable man, like she's now in her 40s and this is now when she's saying it?
Yeah.
And that is, I haven't looked into it that much, but that is one example, and I only have one example from it. So I think once women have, you know, finances.
But there's so many things to just that, because.
What do you want with this mic? Should we tape it over your mouth? With your consent, of course.
Sit still.
With your
I'm just saying there's so many things to just that women being financially independent here, because just the way the government is here and just the way I feel like women are not empowered as men are in some way. So
agree.
like some women don't really have a choice,
Yes.
that they have to be escorts at Lollipop. Shout out to Lollipop.
Shout out to Lollipop, of course. Shout out to Lollipop. Yeah.
But you know, so I think it's like it's a confusing, hard, you know, thing. But I do agree, like the women who are able to be financially independent should do that, because I have met women here who. I've met some women here who are very like, oh, a man has to do this for me. He has to pay my rent.
Yeah.
He has to take me out. If you don't have any of that, then I can't, you know, I can't be with you. And it's just like,
I think it's more than 50% right
and
now.
it's like unfair, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like
That's how the society.
that's
is
how
set
the
up.
society is set up here. Like, you know, there's a lot of pressure on men. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
London, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have money, no one is gonna give you their time.
No,
And it's just like, what are you doing for yourself?
I still get time even on my lowest days.
Yeah, but it's like
I think it's always a good thing, even regardless if you have money and you still like, you know, just know how you have social skills and everything.
yeah,
Because at times you get
That's
like,
important.
And
because that's how
everyone
you,
has a skill.
yeah,
Everyone has a skill
Yeah.
they can master.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's
It's kind of tricky because now you end up having girls who are dating assholes with money, and they're in those situations where like now you're a baby mama, this guy has like 3 more baby mamas, he treats you like shit, but there's nothing you can do because you still kind of need the financial help for everything regardless. So I mean, it's tricky.
Yeah. And I also think it's important to like empower young women so that they don't have to grow up and
depend on men.
Because I feel like it starts like maybe they're having a hard time at home and they don't know how to make it out in the world, and by the time they grow up they will probably do what they've seen. That's mostly like,
since we're still just talking about this, what kind of guys would you ideally like date apart from these savages that don't know how to behave and everything? Yeah, what kind of guys would you go out
date
for? Yeah,
I like funny men. Like funny and kind, and
they do have to have money on top of these things, right?
Ambitious. You don't have to be rich.
Or you're looking for a clown?
Because I'm thinking, like, especially at people our age, in the 20s, like this is when you're creating your life. I don't expect anybody in their 20s to be like super, super rich. Because this is the time where you're actually trying to make money, so that by the time you're like maybe in your late 30s and 40s, then you have
in Kenya they expect you to have money at your 20s.
But that's not fair, because I don't have that much money in my 20s, because I'm still like creating my life.
Hear that, ladies?
So
Pointers.
I think it's like, it's about ambition. As long you can't just sit around, you have to have ambitions. You have to have something you want to do in your life, and then we can work on that together.
You do, honestly, those are the qualities you'd look for in a guy? Yeah. And you're not lying?
I'm not lying.
I can vouch.
How about you?
Can you vouch?
I can vouch for her. That's
really
true. Yeah.
I don't really.
She looks like an asshole. Like, if you just don't.
That's true. People do think I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
People do think I'm a bitch.
You look very inconsiderate in so many different ways.
But I am the sweetest person. I am super
Once
sensitive
you get to know
and emotional.
Or that's just like a self-defense kind of thing.
It's not a self-defense.
Really?
It's a resting bitch face.
Okay. Okay. So guys,
if you're scared of that, then
if you're scared of that, then you're not worth my time.
Oh wow.
Because I'm super sweet.
Wow. Sheila, how about you?
Still figuring out, because I haven't met, and that's why like my aim for right now is not to settle. It's just basically to get to know people and different personalities, so I can determine like
how do you do that?
What I want.
You date different people, you sleep around?
No, not necessarily. You just talk to people. That's just it. You just talk and you
become friends.
You become friends and you understand their personalities.
Because I remember, I can just finish.
Because like you know what's so funny? Like you can be with a group of girls and we're all talking about like how men are.
Yeah,
I hate that shit though. I hate that shit.
Obviously, we're just clueless because we're going around in circles, like trying to break down like how men are.
And so, what do men want?
And
the
all
book
of this,
and the movie.
And all of these things, and it's just like the easiest way is just to talk to them, and that like, and so that's my main thing. You asked like, how's the dating life in Norway?
Yeah,
it's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
People don't even approach you.
They just look at you. And they just look at you. And then if you approach them, it's like, and also you have to take into account, okay, we come from a small place, so we know everyone. Like we know all the black people. Yeah. We know, and
they've been in circles that we've been.
The same. Oh shit.
So it's like.
So most black women, to be honest, like in Bergen, most, at least those I know, do not date there. They either travel to Oslo.
You have to travel.
Oslo, Sweden, or London.
You have to travel.
If you do date black men, though.
Yeah.
Because there are some who do date white men, Norwegian men.
Yeah. But that's what's complicated, because like if they don't come to you correct, it's just a super turn off. Like and then like when they approach you in like the most sexual way. You know, it's like they're not interested in knowing
like how my Nubian queen.
What I'm starting,
they say things like hi my Nubian queen, hi my chocolate princess. I've really gotten that.
Or like I got a big dick.
Yeah.
Come on,
white.
Like, wait, English.
That's the first pickup line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're not saying
everybody.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, yeah. It kind of like and you've experienced that.
But like it happens that way because people meet when they're drunk.
They only talk to you when they're drunk too.
So that's why, like, you
have to get like a bit.
They're
Yes,
not, they don't
always.
have the confidence to talk to
So
you.
somebody can't approach you during the day and just like holler at you.
They'll just stare at you.
because it's just very abnormal. Even I would be like, what are you doing?
What?
People don't talk to each other like you don't understand. Communication.
I can't even break down. Like,
I would have
where we
so
live.
much fun there.
You would not.
I
Maybe,
would.
Yeah, okay, he would. Like, he's the
Because
type.
I like playing around with people because I'll be like,
When in Chokozi,
yeah, for sure. You remember like we had an incident at the beach, right? We had let's talk about that. We had an incident at the beach,
Gunfights.
right? So, and of course the audience is, you can chip in. to
What
this.
is your audience? Predominantly women, men?
A lot. It's just a mix of everyone
Mix?
because I bring like so many different guests, so
Okay.
and from like different races, communities, all those things. I just mix it up so that I can grow my podcast with everybody. So we were at the beach, right? So the two of them, they have their costumes on, right?
No, we didn't. We hadn't even
Didn't?
come that far. I still had my
We were
pants
still
on.
sitting down, but
Yeah.
I had my costume on.
She had a nice, cute bikini on, right? Yeah, very nice. What's the designer? Where did you buy the bikini?
Fashion
Sheila,
Nova.
why you laugh? That's Fashion
It's
Nova,
not Fashion
Yes.
Nova. You
Is
bought
it?
here.
right?
Not the last
I mean-
one.
The-
The
I mean,
first
I'm
thing-
always-
That was. You
Oh
bought it
yeah, no,
here.
that was the pink
For-
one.
that-
No,
no,
that
that
one
was
was
Forever
Forever
22.
22.
Ah,
We call it Forever 22.
so here's the thing. I know if you see a water gun, and I warned you guys that we're going to use these water guns, right? I thought the message was clear that these water guns are going to be used amongst the group of people that were there, right? So I'm like, yo, get ready, we're about to use the guns. And then I was told I need consent to use the water gun.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, listen, that's why
Not the way you're formulating it, but
for the
Yeah,
audience.
the way you were telling
The
us.
way
Okay,
you're
well,
saying
okay,
it
listen,
makes
listen.
people think
Okay,
of
we
water gun in a
shot
different
we
way.
shot fast and then we asked later, right? But I do want to ask one question, right? And you have to answer honestly. At the end of that beach experience, did you sit back and say like, that was actually kind of fun?
no.
No? The water guns were not fun?
The water guns were not fun
No.
because we had
You
said
sprayed me with water guns, first of all,
Because it was revenge.
without my consent.
was revenge.
First
that
of
was
all.
revenge.
That was revenge.
And also, like, we were very clear, like,
Don't
don't
want,
want us.
don't want water guns.
we don't want water guns in our faces. Like,
And the other-
I don't want water in my hair.
The other
I
thing,
came to the beach to chill.
She
I was very clear.
She
And
was
also,
so
it was the
upset.
first
She
day
was
we
so
met.
upset.
yeah, it was the
It was
first
the first day
day.
we met, so it's not like
That's
we
how
knew
we break
how you
ice.
guys
That's
were.
how we break ice.
It was
You
a-
definitely,
broke.
you definitely melted the ice. You did not break it.
No.
You melted it and killed
No,
it.
but regardless, over the past how many days? 3-4 days. Didn't we just get along well?
After that, yes.
Yeah, but it's
And
not
see,
about
thanks to the
that.
water gun. Guys, get
It's
yourself
not
some
because
water
of the
guns.
water gun.
Yeah.
No, it's not about that.
It's because of what?
Because like aside from the water gun, you guys were cool to hang out with.
Yeah,
We're still not
we're
happy
cool
about the
though,
water
right?
gun. We forgave you.
But we're cool though,
Yeah,
right?
you're cool. Yeah.
Did you have a good time? Did you experience
Yes.
everything like?
It
Yeah, what
it
time was
Have you
like-
experienced that with anyone else in Kenya during
No.
your
See
stay?
you. See
Obviously,
you.
because it's our first time in Kenya, so we don't know if
For
this
you,
is
for your
standard.
first-
Yeah, for me,
Please,
it's,
her
yes.
first time
Listen,
in
you
Kenya.
you will
Have
search
Kenya.
and you will not find those people. So,
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I listen. Let's
Yeah.
just stick. You wouldn't say that, but let's stick to that first of all. So,
Because we did meet some people, you know,
really, before or after?
before you.
Oh, and I wonder why you never hung out with them again.
We did not. We did. We're just at different places.
Just different
Oh.
places.
Oh Lord. Okay. Anyway, but how was just Mombasa for like a vacay? Because I know you don't get to experience that like a lot.
Every
you
year
come-
when I come back home, I go to Coast.
You do always standard.
Always. It's like you have to go to Coast.
It's a vibe. What do you do when you're in Norway for fun?
Drink every weekend.
That's the only thing too.
Hike.
Apart from
You hike?
drinking and hiking.
Do
Not
you
really.
hike?
This last year I did not.
I hate
hiked
hiking.
actually 3 times last year because I had guests, so that was a tourist activity
Yeah, I
with them.
remember that.
But otherwise,
Those are the only things to do: drinking and hiking.
we're locals. Yes.
And
Nothing
also,
else.
there's not a lot to do. I mean, you can go bowling. and shopping and
well, let's
to
not
the
say that.
movies.
Let's not say that because last year we've had an exciting year.
That's true.
We did a lot of extra. We did a lot of art stuff.
Art
like
stuff. We went to exhibitions. We created.
we
things for
yeah we
museums,
our work was featured in a triennial
work?
arts
work?
festival called Bergen Assembly, and we did like a exhibition which featured like work done by the people of color community.
Yes, printmaking. We made images that represented how we felt being minorities
Really?
in Norway.
So
You guys get so emotional and start talking about just being minority. Like
No, but
you
it's
not fun.
see your
It's-
faces, you're just like, oh,
But okay, minority can be a lot of things. Let's just say
Yeah.
like people of color.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really, for me it was a big experience. I think the whole it's so weird to say last year. We're only in the 3rd of January.
yeah.
But the whole
yeah.
last year was about like speaking up and voicing your frustrations, because you have to understand like having these discussions about being a minority and a person of color in Norway is very rare. Particularly
is.
particularly
We don't
where
have-
we're from. We don't talk about it in
talk about
public
it.
because of fear.
Yeah.
Fear of. But
Let's
can
talk
they
about
actually
it.
like harm you or
No,
you just get like
it
now?
can make people uncomfortable to
And
the
defensive.
point and defensive to the point where like if you're having this discussion with someone who knows a lot of people and that might hurt your work opportunities, you're not
Oh,
gonna
you might
have
get
that
blacklisted like in some,
can have
especially
in a
if you're
subtle way, like it won't be obvious.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're bad mouthing Norway a lot, but
Right
it's
now?
the reality
It's the reality
for us.
Yeah, for us.
No, it's just your personal experience, and there might be somebody who's watching or listening, and even just from the podcast, they might reach out and like, yo, you guys actually going through this and that, experience this, or somebody else would want to have that conversation because they're of a different place and they didn't know that's how it's being interpreted when they behave in a certain way.
And also that thing, like the Bergen Assembly, a lot of things came out. You did the Kulturtreff.
Yeah. And even she started an African Student Union in Bergen,
Who?
Cynthia.
Really?
So that came out of that
How-
arts project.
How did that go, Cynthia?
It went well.
She doesn't look like she can commit to anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just known
You
her.
just
Yeah.
look at me and you decide like
Yes.
this is who she is.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Do I look spoiled to you? Is that?
Not spoiled. Just like you just.
None my
Cynthia.
business.
No. Cynthia is just like the person. If she walks in the room, she's just like, all of you people better be lucky that I'm here. she just gives out that energy. She's like, you guys better be lucky that I'm here. Am I lying?
No.
You're probably
Why
lying.
you say
You're.
no?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, five.
But I think that's a very positive thing.
No, it makes me sound like
No.
sound like
Narcissist, that everything
like a
should evolve
narcissist.
around her.
No, I would disagree. I actually
That's what
think-
I'm saying. That's what I'm
But
saying.
that kind of thing I would say is positive, because you know like your time is important and that you're choosing to spend that time with certain people. Like I don't
But yeah.
see that as negative.
Yeah.
Unless
These people
you
should
make
be-
people feel less than you, then that's negative.
That too.
Yeah.
I don't
Did
make
you feel
people
like,
less than
did you
That's
feel like you were less than?
Ah, come on now. We're talking about me. I'm a whole different breed. But that's why, like, even for me, most people come to the podcast, ask me, how do I interact with different people? Because you see, like, if the way we are talking right now, when was the last time you had all these topics in a conversation with even people that you know?
we have
Often.
Often.
all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
Often. Because we, like I said, 2019 was a very beautiful year. Like we met like-minded people.
You
and
went out of your element or something?
No,
Or it was
really,
just a
not
normal
really.
thing?
We
It was
just-
just a normal
Maybe the
thing?
group expanded. We can
Yeah.
say
Okay.
that. Before it was smaller, now it's like, okay, there's so many more people I know that I can have this discussion with.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's interesting because I do have people on the podcast that I've just met like today, tomorrow, and like we just become really, really good friends just because of the conversation we had on the podcast. And I hope so it's the same thing with you guys. When you go, like, you know, we just still stay in touch.
Yes, of
Send me those
course.
pictures you promised me, right?
What pictures did I promise you, Johnny?
Okay, let's.
Oh, Johnny.
Hey, you got that too, Sheila, right? Hey, listen. That's a discussion of the podcast, right?
Discussion.
But what else haven't we touched on? Because I just wanted to like touch on everything because I think we've done like We're at 1 hour.
Serious?
And we're already 1 hour.
Wow.
So yeah,
Went fast.
when you're talking about interesting things, interesting people. So are you guys coming back to the country anytime soon?
There's no such thing as anytime soon when we
Okay,
leave
it has
as
to
far
be
as we
December.
do.
It has to be December.
I want to start off the new year the same way I started this year, next year.
Yeah.
I mean this year.
Wait, what do you mean?
We're in 2020.
We wanna start
2020.
This
2020,
decade needs to
2020.
be celebrated each year in Africa.
Yeah, I want to start my a new year like in somewhere like Mombasa every year.
No, Mombasa
was
is
nice.
epic. We missed the countdown, man. I can't forgive myself for that shit.
The countdown was weak though.
It was weak.
It
where
wasn't
we were.
good?
Where
Really?
we were, it was weak.
It was weak,
Yeah.
but the fireworks were nice. But they were too close to people.
Yeah.
The fireworks
They were
were
like
This
here,
is
and you're
this is
standing there.
this is spoiledness from Norway, because like in
Yeah.
Norway it's the fire department that does
Does
That does the
Oh, they
fireworks.
make sure all the precautions are taken.
yeah, so it's the
Yeah.
fire department that does the
But then it was
fireworks.
just like you're standing
But
and
you're
you
just
see
like
it.
bloop, bloop.
No,
Like-
but I think that's the one time as Kenyans, like you can go by and actually like just even light them off like your backyard. You're actually allowed.
Anybody can do that?
Yeah, as long as if it's 31st, you just light them up. Nobody cares or anything. Nobody even has the time to find out like did they have a license for this and that.
It's not about the license, it's just the fear of being blind. Like every year in Norway,
Yeah.
there's like a report on how many people lost their eyesight.
And it's
What?
not many. It's
Yes, it's like 6, but it
Six,
feels a lot.
Shit.
We come from a small country.
yeah, it's a very small country.
It's not that big, is it?
It's like 5 million people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
And they even announced like this year 2 kids were born on New Year's Eve. Like we have like
What?
and this is internet. This is not this
National
is
news.
National news.
Like they have to say.
They'll repeat it the whole day.
But is it one of those countries where I had like if you have is it Sweden or is it Norway where people are being encouraged to actually have kids because guys are not in a hurry to start families or anything. I hate
the
there's
whole
something
Europe.
like that.
About Arna. There
Where's
was something
that?
Arna said. Arna is she's the prime minister of Norway.
Yeah.
She did mention something like that, like people need to have more children or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
need to, but then at the same time, it's like what the reason why people are waiting with having kids is because education is free. So a lot of women are educating themselves and they're not finished until they're like in their 30s. Men, the same
Yeah.
thing. So we're not financially stable until in our late 20s, and that's when people start having kids. But then and then so she should focus on making like it easier for women to maybe have kids and study and then get a job.
Like at least when you're even still studying, like decent jobs or what? What are we talking? What kind of jobs? Because I'm guessing if you can get a job from 16, aren't the jobs enough to? Or
You can still get a decent job. Like you don't have to have a whole degree, but you
Yeah.
do need to like have like a certain.
do you guys want to have kids in future?
That's not a priority for me, to be
What?
honest. It's not a priority because I feel like, first of all, I like my freedom. I like
Kids.
not being responsible of another person.
We can tell clearly.
Thank you.
Trust me.
So I think
Uh-huh.
having kids, I think I really have to like think
Later
about that
on?
Later on, but it's not something that I focus on. Like it's too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
About you, Sheila, I hope somebody like pops as
No, but just
that condom before they.
Whoa,
How about you?
Don't encourage that. But like, just real quick on
Yeah.
like what complicates people from having kids is that like people want to have like 100% contract, right? And if your boss finds
How?
out, because when you apply for a job,
Yeah.
like after you studied, you want 100% contract.
Yeah.
And so if they will ask you if you're married or if you have a
Have
partner,
kids.
if you have kids, they'll preferably want that you've already had kids, so they don't have to pay your permission,
Yeah, mama permission.
which is in English. What is that?
It's like a
Paid leave,
paid leave. Like when you have kids, you get
yeah.
paid.
both
Yeah.
men and women.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
yeah, and so like
Yeah.
once you get so what most women do
Yeah.
is the moment they've signed that contract,
They go
like
get a
two
baby.
pounds.
they go get a baby
Like 2 or 3.
Immediately.
immediately.
What?
Yes, and so
'Cause
they're
you know
gone
they're
for like
bought-
a year.
You what?
Yeah, because
And
I
you
mean,
see-
after
oh, yeah,
after the
'cause-
9 months,
yeah, yeah.
then the baby's born. Then you're like a year leave.
You're
Right.
given 1 year paid leave.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
So that's why, like,
people would have
People wait.
children here
Yeah.
If that
So,
ever
but that's
happened.
when you find like people get hired and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. You know,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
makes
so
sense. You
that's
just start
what-
that family like immediately. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
So, do you see yourself though getting kids? She
See,
explained
I was
her
trying
story.
to avoid that question.
Nah, I'm still asking.
I was trying to. I don't
won't
know.
forget.
I don't know if I'm meant to have kids. If it's written somewhere in my life plan, okay. But then I'm just learning like not to attach myself to certain. Like I have goals, I have certain things I want to happen, but then because I'm very critical, if it doesn't happen, I might be like, it didn't happen. So if it happens for me, fine. If it doesn't, fine too. There's so many things that maybe I'll adopt.
What?
Maybe I will adopt a child or something if I ever want kids.
Hey, listen. You're entitled to do anything. I don't want to give my opinions on that. You're like, oh, hey, my body, my choice. Yes, please do what you have to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we've crossed like the watermark for, the time of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told you guys, we can still be in touch.
Yeah.
And with this gadget, like we can still do like incoming,
Yeah.
I'm
like a
jealous
conference.
of you.
Why?
This, I really wanted this.
You've seen
Wanted
it
to
somewhere
buy
before?
Yeah.
And
I couldn't buy it. It's expensive.
listen, you can talk to
But I'll buy
Johnny.
it.
You can talk to Johnny over here.
Fine, I'll buy
Johnny will
it
take care of you.
one
Hey,
day.
listen, Johnny will take care of you.
Johnny,
So
for
anyway.
some reason, when you say it like that, it sounds like a predator.
What?
Predator.
Come on.
Predation.
Come on. So, is there anything else that there's something you have planned that's supposed to come out? So I think maybe you can plug that in.
Yes, we have
Before we wrap
we
up.
have a few things. Even
Yeah, like-
me and Cynthia, like
What?
that's coming from our participation in Bergen Assembly. That we're gonna do a book. That's
A
gonna
book?
be
Right,
consist
you mean-
of the prints that we did. And so that's the project we're doing this year with British artist Emma Ulukawanamba. We need to plug her in.
Yeah.
And she's really amazing. And so that's one of the exciting things we'll be doing this year.
Also, the Declaration. She
And
mentioned the Declaration of Independence.
Like I haven't written mine yet, but yeah, in 2 weeks I'm gonna have like a performance with Barbie Asante, and she's from Ghana, British Ghanaian.
She's British Ghanaian.
And Fuluke. And it's a performance called Declaration of Independence, which is like a group of women of color who have basically voice.
They declare the independence.
Their independence, yeah, in solidarity.
Yes.
And that's what's happening in Bergen. So like since last year, like
Yeah.
Bergen is diversifying, like, and it's from our hands. And then finally,
What?
it's us we've
You
been part of
you
initiating
initiated.
this kind of
We
changes.
really
Yes, we
yeah.
Oh,
have.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
And
You should be proud because
very proud. It's been a journey. And then finally, it's the podcast that's coming soon.
Yeah.
With the book?
But they just do it. Do
Well,
it.
just
I
do-
think.
No,
Because
but
if you
I
started
have-
something else,
No, but then the lovely thing is it will be with an independent radio station called Vers Libre. And so we'll be working together on that. And I need a social media account.
Yeah, your social media is
You
shit.
think
It's whack.
better than yours?
It's
way
Cynthia's is better than mine. Like
I don't
Really?
have 3 posts.
She just.
how many
I
followers you have?
Like 125.
I have
Ah.
60 followers.
But her pictures are from like
10.
2014,
She
2010.
doesn't have any of her pictures on.
And
Just
her
have.
camera is
you
an
just-
iPhone 11, by the way.
Oh man, those
With that
pictures
camera.
though, those pictures. But
I'm just very against
you'll
show-
need to promote stuff
I
because now that you're
know,
putting
I
yourself
know,
out there, you have to promote your stuff.
I know. I have to just figure out how I'm gonna do it. I just don't want to put my face.
You remember when she was talking about you share a post and then you keep refreshing to see if people are liking it and they're like, who is this? You have like 2 likes and not even your family members are liking the post. You wait till you get to that
You know,
point.
my dad's even a bigger influencer than I am, and he's like 60. Posting
Yeah, so
pictures.
social media should be your friend, especially if you're planning to promote your projects, brands,
media, you
partnerships. You have to.
Yeah.
And you both have like backgrounds in film Film and
I
production.
just have film. She has
Film and creative writing.
That's crazy. I mean, utilize that as well. Just creating your own brands and your own projects. It should come in like,
Yeah,
super handy in that.
definitely.
Anything you want to promote, Cynthia?
Not really.
African Student Union.
Katala.
But I feel like
it's
what
a
would they
beautiful
do?
thing. Like, no,
Yeah,
no, it's
why
a
not?
It's a beautiful
Why
thing.
not?
Like, people need to. This happened in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
That's how diverse where we live is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you don't want to plug anything? You're sure? 100%.
I don't think. Do I have anything to plug in?
So much. Your travels.
Do it
I don't feel like it's important information
right now.
right now. I feel like some things will go down in London.
Yeah.
They should just follow you on your
So you
account.
should just follow me
Yeah.
with my 3 posts.
Which we hope there'll be some improvement if people are following, right?
I know, right?
So yeah, I'll put their handles. I'll put both their handles like down below. Make sure you follow them. Anything else that's coming, I'll also try and tag when the episode is coming out. When do you think I should drop the episode?
US
Feb or
boss.
March? I mean, when March, right? Yeah.
I
So
think March.
My birthday month.
it's March.
I'm a Pisces.
Hey. Okay. Explains a lot as well.
What's
you
your
just
star
said-
sign?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. So you.
This is my year.
This is your year.
Actually, my month.
Your month.
Yeah, in January. So I mean,
I'm surprised. I usually don't get along with Aquarius.
really. I told
Oh,
you.
no, it's the other
but I
side.
told you I'm a
That's
whole
why-
completely different breed.
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I forget sometimes.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Hey, listen. We'll discuss
Nothing.
that off the podcast. Can we? Can we?
So we end this so people don't have to like
Yeah.
listen forever.
So guys, okay, we'll do this. I'll do the outro in English and then you'll just follow it up with Norwegian, any one of you. So guys, it's been another amazing episode of the Kisscapades podcast. I'm glad you guys showed up.
Thank you.
I hope to see you again in future for another episode.
Definitely.
I'll stay in touch online.
Definitely.
And anybody else who's listening in Norway, you say that outro in Norwegian.
Hei alle sammen, tusen takk for at dere har lyttet til dette programmet med meg, Cynthia og John. Og kanskje vi kommer tilbake igjen, så får dere en videre episode med oss sammen.
Hi, follow
Of
us.
course.
Follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Castbox, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Daily posts every single day of the week, and full episodes. You know where to find them anyway. So make sure you follow me, follow her, follow Cynthia, follow Sheila, follow the Kiss Bandit, and stay tuned for more. So yeah, that's it, guys.
Thank you for having us.
You're
It was
welcome.
really fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was right.
It flew by.
What? Have you shot any podcast before?
Yeah.
You have? Was it better than this?
It wasn't as
It was
professional as
Yeah.
this.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I was
This
looking
was
for.
really pro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank you,
nice.
guys. Thank you so much. So till next time, guys. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Keep watching. Keep listening. It's a Kisscapades podcast. Goodbye.